the Wolfpack. Mark Gottfried and his NC State squad play host to the Michigan Wolverines, led by Karis LeVert. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Glenn Elmore. It's great to have you with us. Both of these teams are 4-2. Michigan comes in on the strength of its outside shooting. With that skill, Len, they can challenge anybody in the country.
Well, certainly when they're on, and when they're on, they're pretty good. They'll spread the floor, and they take as many threes as they do too. That's living by the three. And when you talk about NC State, the one thing you do is follow the cat, and that's Anthony Cat Barber, averaging 21.6 assists. He, in fact, is the leader of the pack.
NC State huddling around Mark Gottfried, who has started his career in the ACC, averaging 23 wins a year and making 4 consecutive NCAA appearances. Only 2 other coaches ever in ACC history have started their career that way. John Beilein sends his kids out. Beilein in his 9th year has won 170 games at Michigan. Last year, of course, they were hurt at so many different positions they couldn't possibly overcome it. And his team finished 16-16. Set to go, NC State in the home white, Michigan in its road blue uniforms. And Anthony Cat Barber controls, averaging over 6.5 assists a game. Abu goes baseline, forces it up, can't hit it. Michigan basketball. Keep an eye on Walton. He's number 10. He's the quarterback of this team, and they will look for Chris LeVert every possession they can. He's an exceptional scorer and a great outside shooter, like a lot of his teammates are on this club. Dawkins with a runner. One and done for both ball clubs.
Well, right now it seems both ball clubs trying to explore the man-to-man being played by their opponent. A pretty good passing. Certainly in Michigan, movement without it. And NC State down low, looking to exercise their size advantage.
Barber pull-up jumper, and he's got it. He's averaging 21 points a game, number 2 in the ACC. More of a scorer than he is as a shooter, but his mid-range game is pretty good.
Yeah, when I talk about size advantage for NC State, I'm talking about girth as much as height.
LeVert loses it on the way in. Barber on the run. Kicks it off to Rowan. Out of bounds to the Wolfpack.
NC State a +4 in rebounding, and Michigan just about even in their rebounding margin. That's been, you know, one of the weaknesses that the Wolverines have suffered. Inability to really compete. And on the other end, particularly on the offensive glass, Michigan last in the Big Ten.
Caleb Martin, a 40% long-range shooter who struggled a year ago and then changed the way he shot the long ball. And he is really succeeding this season. And Michigan, a team that rarely turns it over, does so and gives the ball back to NC State.
Kind of an unforced error. Aubrey Dawkins looking to drive left off his foot. And again, you really want, if you're Michigan, you got to move without it. You don't have a real post-up guy. You don't have the kind of people that are going to really beat folks off the dribble. Ball movement, kicking to the open man.
Freeman calling for it down low. Instead, they get it outside to Abdul Malik Abu, and he misses the 15-footer. LeVert back the other way. Walton trying to get inside and can't.
You know, we talk about size advantage, but Cat Barber, their best defender on Karis LeVert, and really done a nice job, except there, turned his head and got burned.
LeVert, 56% from long range, had a great look there.
Because Barber looking to help, he was in between. And you're in between, you're in no man's land.
What a quick move by Barber. Little jab step toward the lane, then backs off, has 4 points. This is Doyle He gives him some girth inside.
And one of the few guys, and he stays in the post, but his team doesn't look to him that often.
LeVert picked up his dribble, gives it back to Derek Walton Jr. Point guard out of Detroit, shot clock down to 4. Irvin. Doyle tried to keep it alive, but Barber comes out with it. Good ball movement. Rowan in and out on the 3. Michigan ball. They'll run if they get an opportunity, but they're not going to try to force it.
Yeah, they look to space you, move the ball, move without it, and ultimately hit the open man.
We have played 4 minutes in Raleigh, and it is a 4-point lead. Walton fouled. First foul of the ball game. Caleb Martin picks up the personal. It's 7-3 here in Raleigh.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. And in part by T-Mobile. Switch to the Data Strong network.
7-3 NC State with the early lead, and Len, for Michigan, no shortage of guys who can jack it up from long range.
Well, again, it really is a demonstration of the distribution. You know, the movement of the ball. Obviously, you got so many threats out there from beyond the arc with Michigan. That's why spacing is so important. The ability to put it on the floor and penetrate, force defenses out of position where they can kick it to one of those guys. And when you have that many, you know, the rolling the dice is in your favor.
Derek Walton will go to the line 73% early in the season. B.J. Anya has checked in for NC State. And Mo Wagner, the German freshman, number 13, is in for Michigan.
You know, we talk about Michigan's offense, and right now, before conference play has started, their offense, they're in the top 10 in points, field goal percentage, three-point field goal percentage, but they're number 1. Free throws and three-pointers made. So this is a very efficient offensive team. Again, the weakness is on the defensive glass, as well as them not being able to get second chance opportunities.
Cody Martin is also in for Mark Gottfried. Rowan almost dragged that back foot and then turns it over. Walton trying to penetrate again, cut off. NC State's done a good job of that early. Wagner has it blocked by B.J. Anya. Look at Barber. Was it offensive or a block? It's going to be on Cat Barber.
Well, you take a look at the push right here. Barber steps up. Terrific job there by Derek Walton Jr. outside restricted area. And the new rule is you cannot score on an offensive foul. So despite the ball going in, and it might have left his hand before he made contact, no goal.
Walton will do everything point guard. Sometimes they have to remind him he's out there to score, too.
You have to remind the player you got to score.
Yeah, unselfish.
Especially when you have the ball all the time.
Shot clock down to 4. And it's a travel, the third turnover against the Wolverines. I like that rule change where you can't score on a charge. It just makes sure that you can't take advantage of a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is, not rewarding the mistake. Now, NC State, obviously we talked about Michigan's offense. They're a little bit different right now. They've got the ability to go inside because they've got guys who are familiar with the post, as well as a couple of outside shooters in Caleb Martin and Maverick Rowan. They haven't gotten untracked as of yet.
LeVert, top of the circle, wanted the ball. They couldn't get it to him. Michigan has had trouble with the shot clock early, winding it down several times.
Well, this is where they're so disciplined, and you made the right point about Derek Walton Jr. He's got to penetrate, or LeVert.
And LeVert has it rejected, goes down the lane, kicks it out of bounds via shot clock violation anyway. And another good defensive series by NC State.
Particularly when you have the eraser back there by the name of B.J. Anya. Take a look at NC State's field goal shooting. By contrast, it's Rowan and Martin. And that's not funny. But those are the two guys who have made all of NC State's threes. So you're looking at almost opposite images of teams here. One with 4 and 5 guys capable of knocking down threes, and the other team with just 2.
Well, Rowan and Martin were funny, but that was 30 years ago. Barber. Boy, he's tough.
Who needs a 3 where he can knock down the mid-range with that kind of regularity?
Barber has 6. It's 9-5. 1 field goal in the first 6.5 minutes for the Wolverines. Dawkins, the son of Johnny, gets it over Irvin, and Irvin could make a big difference coming off of back surgery. Last couple of games, he's poured in 25 points, so he's getting healthy. The Martin twins in there together. Caleb and Cody. Rowan sets a screen, and Barber wants to fire again. Levert backs the other way, gets a good screen, and pumps the 3. Rowan with a rebound.
Again, there's a level of anxiety right now with Michigan. They don't want to get down too far, only down 4. And they're getting open looks.
Barber has to drop it off. Fire a 3, missed everything. And he's going to challenge the defender on every possession, take that 1 step and see if he can get an advantage. The Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by the U.S. Marines continues on ESPN. A great matchup tonight with old rivals, number 2 Maryland, number 9 North Carolina, and a journey to the tourney game presented by Sonic. It's also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Teacher against pupil in the coaching department.
Yeah, as well as Marcus Page's debut for this season. Figures he'd have to do it against Maryland.
Yes.
I was thinking about getting in the car and driving over after our game, but I'm probably more comfortable watching with you guys.
There you go.
At the hotel.
The runner by Walton. And the point guard scores, averaged 10.5 points a game. He has 4 so far tonight.
And that's what Michigan needs, more penetration. You know, even though B.J. Anya is in the game right now, you've got to be able to challenge that NC State back line and not relegate yourself to being just a perimeter team.
Anya, the shot blocker, trying to move inside with a left-hand basket in the foul. B.J. Anya. The foul on Wagner. Will shoot a free throw when we come back. 11-7, NC State on top of Michigan. 11:31 to go first half. And when B.J. Anya extends an arm, it just keeps extending, doesn't it?
There's no question about it. 6'9", but a 7'9" wingspan. He's only averaging 4 points a game. They've got to be able to get more out of a guy with that kind of mobility. Take a look at the length when he reaches to that basket. He reaches right around Wagner. Nothing the 7-footer can do. You see those arms go up? He's got an awful lot of opportunities if he continues to work on it, to be able to get close to the basket and score and draw fouls.
That 7'9" wingspan is the longest of any non-7-footer the NBA has ever measured. 7'9", he's only 6'9". I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the problem is, again, he's going to get fouled. He's got to do better at free throws. He's like 7 of 20 from the line this season. That looked a little bit better.
I would think the problem would be buying shirts.
Just wear short sleeves all the way.
The regular dress shirts are short sleeves on him. Off target, Irvin.
Michigan has had more success when they've been able to penetrate off the bounce. You know, they can draw Anya out and they can find other guys, but they can't just settle for the perimeter shot, particularly now when they're not hitting.
Good screen from Martin. His jumper is short. Good rebound by Anya. And Barber will get a fresh 30 seconds. He's hit 3 out of his 6 shots.
Wagner has to do a better job of putting a body on Anya and really almost to excess to push him out.
It's a tough matchup for him at only 225 pounds.
He did a much better job on that one, though.
Duncan Robinson, number 22 into the ball game, is a pure shooter like so many of these Michigan kids. You get open looks from 3 and he can drain them like this.
Yep. He's almost automatic.
Boy, isn't he?
This young man from Williams College, a Division III player at one time, transferred to Michigan and awarded a scholarship. Based on the research, he might be the first Division III player to go Division I and earn a scholarship.
Freeman, good job to get a look, but couldn't get it to fall for him. That's a big hill to climb from Division III to this level. Nice scoop shot. Irvin gets his first bucket. And Michigan has its first lead.
And that was a quick shot designed to evade B.J. Anya. But good penetration, as I mentioned.
Barber, nice dish. Anya with the easy one.
Speaking of good penetration.
Barber is a game changer. He can do so many things. Great control there by Doyle.
And absolutely by Wagner keeping the ball up, not bringing it down. By catching it, keeping it up, shooting it in the same motion. Once again, he avoided getting it blocked. Anya just a finger too late.
Using screens to try to get the ball to Barber. He's being overplayed right now by Abdur-Rahman. Martin goes with a left hand and scores.
Suddenly, both of the defenses have been porous. Everybody's getting into the paint now for the high percentage shots.
NC State back up by 1. Michigan's hit 4 out of its last 5 to break the drought.
Nice.
Wagner, nice move.
Oh, you can see that coming.
Well, at least one guy didn't. Martin backs out and goes to Barber. Under 8 minutes to go, first half. Leonard Freeman back in. Martin will try a 3 and a good box out inside by Michigan's Duncan Robinson to get the rebound. Going to be a hand check on Barber. 2 fouls on Anthony Cat Barber, and Michigan has a 1-point lead here in Raleigh.
Against St. Joe's, Daniel Ochefu, great position down low. Cats lead this game 12-9 midway through the first half. Back to Mike and Lynn.
Kevin, thank you so much. We have 7:28 to go in the first half here. Michigan with a 1-point lead over North Carolina State. Back to that last bucket.
Well, actually, we take a look at Mo Wagner on the bench there before the action, and this is a guy that light bulb has come on. His last game, November 26, 19 points, 8 of 9 from the field. And he is just starting to round into understanding how this game is played. And, man, what a difference he can make for this offense for Michigan, having a guy that you can use at the top of the key and post up.
Another good spin move inside. This is Abdur-Rahman. So many guys playing for Michigan, almost all of whom have perimeter skills, and we've already seen a couple of guys very good on the drive. Martin from long range, got it. It's a tough shot.
Well, Caleb Martin, so much improved from shooting the 3 last year. 30% last year, over 40% this year. A lot of it has to do with the newfound strength from working out, putting on about 15 pounds of muscle.
He's hit 2 tonight and has 6 points.
Get that strength in your legs. You get better elevation, better control.
Walton, nice drive to get inside, kicks it back out, and Robinson, he doesn't touch the rim. He gets an opportunity, it's just gone.
Yeah, the way you have to describe his shooting is extraordinary.
It is that. He's 17 out of 28 this year. That's ludicrous. Of course, that's what makes Michigan so dangerous, is they can really spurt on you. Abu with a missed shot.
Oh, too late with the pass.
Yeah, Walton threw it away. Good try by Rockman to dive for it, but that's the 4th turnover against the Wolverines. And John Beilein hates turnovers. He values every possession.
But he also uses it at teaching moments, and I think he didn't have to tell Derek Walton Jr. anything. He realized that he messed up, faked it, held on to it too long.
Abu with a drive and has it blocked from the side by Ricky Doyle. Martin kicks it into the corner. Another 3 try, this time by Abdul Rahman. One and done. Ahead to Martin. Pull-up 3.
Come on now. Nobody, not a white shirt in the paint when you took that shot. That's almost a gimme. Certainly he's a good 3-point shooter, but on a fast break, you need guys run, at least get somebody in the paint. Like an offensive rebound or miss.
Yeah, he either makes it or you lose the ball.
Man, here we go again.
Robinson swishes 3 in a row from long range. He has 9, and he's got that shooter's smile, too.
Exactly.
That lights up the rest of the Michigan bench as well. 24-18, their biggest lead of the ball game. Martin dribbles into a double team, and Doyle with a rebound. Bad pass, and the turnover. Martin retrieves in backcourt. The 5th mistake by Michigan so far in the first half.
And NC State continually trying to exploit the Abu matchup. They don't feel Doyle can help or get anything done defensively. He's getting plenty of help right there.
Knocked away from Caleb Martin. 3 turnovers for NC State. And then Martin commits a hard foul at the other end, and Rockman will go down. Friday NBA presented by State Farm on ESPN. We have the clash of the boroughs at 7 Eastern, the Nets and the Knicks in the Garden. Then at 9:30 we'll go to the Bayou, King James and the Cavs against Anthony Davis and the Pelicans. Both games streaming live on Watch ESPN. A wave of substitutions here for John Beilein. He's got LeVert out on the floor along with Wagner back in. Michigan's hit 8 of its last 10 shots, and that is going to be a push on Sean Kirk, who just checked into the game and ran over a defender in his first action.
Yeah, both coaches making substitutions in ways, looking to continue to get advantages in certain matchups.
Mark Gottfried looking for somebody to stop a 3-point shot. Get somebody out on Robinson. That's the beauty of the 3-point shot. It can change a game so quickly. NC State was dominating everything in this contest until Michigan got hot.
Had to be at least a second, right?
Checking the clock to see what ran off on that out of bounds clock. There's Mike Eads.
Yeah, at least a second. This is an inbound, a deflection, ball goes out of bounds.
Michigan has 14 rebounds in this game, none of them offensive rebounds. But then that's not their strength either.
No, and that's
probably go a week without one.
That's in keeping with their numbers. They're last. They only have about 8 offensive rebounds a game.
Nice drive. No bucket, but a foul. We'll shoot a couple of free throws when we come back. Michigan 24-18 over NC State.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
North Carolina, big.
There's a matchup that we'll miss on an annual basis. had some of the great games in the history of ACC basketball. Foul on Rowan. Take a look at the shot location, which tells you something.
Yeah, Michigan obviously starting to come around. Look at them, particularly at the three-point area. 4 of 8. They started 1 and 7, and then Duncan Robinson made this his neighborhood.
LeVert drains both. He's an 88% free throw shooter on the season.
NC State's got to find a way once again. Spacing, penetration, looking for shooters, spot up shooters or guys on the baseline.
Rowan with a runner around the screen over the backboards, out of bounds. And Rowan has hit a cold streak.
I think you got to get him in rhythm, and the better way to get him in rhythm, if at all possible, would be some penetration and having him spot up instead of coming off of a screen, then having to turn and pivot and square his shoulders up. That way a defender's getting in his face. He's got to get more of an open look.
He's 0 for 3. Great baseline drive by LeVert. He can score from anywhere on the court. 10-point Michigan run. The Wolverines are up by 10.
You got to love LeVert's handle. That's what gets him where he wants to go.
Into traffic, Abu against 3 defenders and hit it off the back of the iron. Robinson finally missed one, missed it badly on a short jumper. Had a defender in his face that time.
See, there's wrong with the spot up. That's his shot. I could see that.
Indeed.
Instead of coming off screens on a screen down and having to turn, his shot is just standing out there squared up. And we got an injury here.
Didn't see what happened. And they could ill afford to have Derek Walton Jr. off the court. He is their quarterback, the point guard that runs this thing. It looked like he's favoring an ankle. It's very difficult for him to step.
We're going to take a look right there. Oh, he looked like he did step and may have twisted something in the attempt to go out and contest that Rowan shot.
He's moving better now than he was when he initially got up. He couldn't even take one of those tiny little steps.
Boy, you talk about being racked by injuries. This Michigan Wolverine team has probably had their share and then some. You got Spike Albrecht, who's trying to recover from a hip injury. Just got Karis LeVert back this year.
And Albrecht right now not expected to play unless it's an emergency situation. They're trying to rehab him from off-season hip surgery on both hips. Nice drive by Aubrey Dawkins. And they're getting penetration as well as the outside shot. Barber was hot early, hasn't hit much lately. It's going to be a hand check called on Robinson. That's a new rule where you put a hand on somebody and they're going to call it. Talk to the officials before the game. They said you call a couple, people back away and abide by the new rules. And that's the way it's supposed to work.
But looking at the overall numbers this year, I mean, teams have made, for the most part, an adjustment. You're going to get outliers here and there where officials have to call it time and time again. But I give the coaches and the players an awful lot of credit as they were prepared.
There's a little touch foul outside called on Dawkins, his first. It was really getting too physical. I mean, it seemed to be much more physical than the NBA.
Yeah, and a lot of these so-called new rules are actually rules that we played by 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Shot won't fall, but another foul. And I would contend when basketball was a better game.
I mean, those days where we could play pretty good defense and still play in the 80s and 90s without the three-point shot.
Absolutely.
Without a 30-second clock or a 35-second clock. or even a 45-second clock. It's all about the will to compete. You know, all too often it's got to be too easy for coaches to try to control the game from the sidelines.
Absolutely.
And it should be played. They should be preparing from the sidelines, but you play the game in between the lines.
Cody Martin 1 out of 2 from the line, averages 7 points a game. Walton has gone to the locker room, and let's see what they do without their leader from the point guard spot. Cameron Chapman in the ball game. LeVert sort of pulled the string on that shot. And a foul on Chapman as he tried to tip the rebound to a teammate. That's his second.
Okay, the question with Derek Walton Jr. now sidelined, the question is, can they maintain that balanced attack inside out? Will they have the discipline, Michigan, to be able to exploit some of the matchup advantages they have?
Barber, nice crossover, then goes back to the right hand and scores 8 points for Cat Barber. Here comes pressure as they have Abdur Rahman handling the basketball.
And that was going to be my last question for Michigan. Are you going to be able to maintain contact and contain Cat Barber without Derek Walton Jr.?
The initial answer was no. Nice spin move, nice patience by Wagner. The German has 6 points in the first half.
And Mike, that's what I'm talking about. If Wagner gives them anything inside like they have now, that creates a balance that allows Michigan probably freer reign on the perimeter, because teams have to really honor the big fella.
Barber trying to see what he has in a defender in Abdur Rahman. Shot clock at 5. Barber's jumper is good. He has 10.
If I'm Cat Barber, I would never take another 3. As well as he shoots the in-between, he could knock him down.
13.9 seconds to go in the half. Michigan is up by 6. Cat Barber, pretty good first half, Len.
Yeah, he's been picking his spots. And as I said, when he's not shooting a 3, of which he's 0 for the season, his mid-range game has an incomparable character to it. You have to honor his quickness off the bounce, so you give him steps. And all he has to do is give you that one shoulder drive, step back, and knock down that mid-range. Averaging 21 points a game.
The rest of the team is hitting only 6 of 21. LeVert, they're going to go to him in the clutch, and he routinely delivers. LeVert with 8 first half points, and Barber has carried this NC State team. Our halftime score, Michigan 34, NC State 26. Coming up next, the Landover halftime report. Great crowd on hand tonight to watch North Carolina State take on Michigan, and bad news for the Wolverines. Their star point guard Derek Walton Jr. sprained his ankle. He is out for the second half. Mr. Do-Everything for this club.
Yeah, he's their primary defender on the perimeter. You can see where he twists right there at the free throw line. Still tries to contest. Rowan's shot, but it's all too much for him as he has to be walked off and attended to. And that's a big loss for Michigan. Implications go far beyond this game, depending on how long he is out.
He is Mr. Do-Everything. 10.5 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3.8 assists. He's their best perimeter defender. He shoots 63% from long range. It's a major blow.
Right now taking his place, Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
Irvin with a long jumper, can't hit it. Loose ball, picked up by North Carolina State. Barber. Tipped outside, grabbed by Doyle for Michigan.
You can tell a lot of blocking out going on that Michigan end. They got the rebound with nobody leaving the floor. They checked their man off nicely and created room for themselves.
Doyle comes to get the ball at the high post. Hand off to LeVert.
Push off.
Got away with it. He's got 4 points, a clear push off. None of the officials apparently had a decent angle to see it.
And that's where the loss of Derek Walton Jr. is going to affect Michigan. They need to get guys with the ability to penetrate and create when the shot clock is going down. You see right there, there's a little bit of push, and right there, even more of one.
Well, that extended forearm will get you almost every time, but not that time.
Just happens to be one of those times all the officials are looking elsewhere.
Last foul was on Irvin. This is on Aubrey Dawkins, his second.
But that's an important move that has to be made for Michigan. The way they run their offense, shot clock going down, they need somebody to be able to penetrate, break down the defense, and find open guys.
Barber got to the baseline. Good help defense by LeVert. And LeVert on the other hand. Nice dish. And Doyle with the easy lay-in.
Good strong move by Ricky Doyle underneath. But again, that's the penetration we're talking about.
Nice unselfish play by LeVert, too. Let's see if this is on Doyle, and it is. That'll be his first.
Yeah, the responsibility is not necessarily on the point guard. It's on your best ball handler. And you see LeVert drawing Rowan. Comes across, Rowan steps up, LeVert finds Doyle after he makes the defender commit. Good sound basketball.
Doyle not normally a source of points, only 4.2 points a game. Abu gets his first point of the night, the sophomore from Boston.
He's had his difficulty from the field right now, except for this free throws. This team has attempted several times try to get him the ball in a mismatch with Doyle on his back or others, and he hasn't been able to connect from the field. You see some pressure now. 1-2-2. Again, I think, Mike, that's exploration to find out what Michigan would do, obviously not having their point guard. You want to get a little bit of a test, read that, and maybe come back with it with more intensity later on.
Could be a long second half for Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. That jumper off target from Irvin, who has not had a productive offensive night tonight.
Well, that was just a rush shot. He shot that before he fully turned around and squared up.
The drive by Abu comes up short.
Again, trying to take advantage inside of what they consider a mismatch, and Abu gets the shot off, but he just can't connect.
He's getting the opportunities, he just can't finish. They want him to be more aggressive this year and use that size to his advantage.
I like that.
Nice turnaround jumper by Aubrey Dawkins.
I guess he's well coached.
Yeah, you would think.
His father, one of the greatest players in Duke history. Head coach at Stanford University, Johnny Dawkins, but he turned around and squared up perfectly.
Martin, tough shot with Dawkins in his face, one and done.
I'm sure John Beilein had a little bit of coaching there, too.
Yeah, for sure. Foul away from the ball. It's going to be on Abu, his first.
Just going back to Dawkins' shot, the difference between his shot and the one that Irvin took was that Irvin turned and almost shot it sideways, shot it so quickly. Dawkins turned, faced like he should, recognized the defense, and then went up and shot the ball under control.
Anya is back in. Abu will sit. The lead, a dozen for the Wolverines, playing without their arguably second most important player, Derek Walton Jr. Only LeVert seems to do more for this club, at least offensively. Little turnaround jumper comes up short that time by Dawkins.
Even though he missed it, he still read the D. The back line middle guy was back, so he took the shot.
Barber is so quick, so fluid with his movements. Can't play him left or right. He'll go either way. Freeman gets it low. Basket counts. And the foul It may not be pretty, but it's effective. Anya will have a chance for a three-point play.
Dump down, and Anya using that girth and that length makes it happen.
Watching the Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by the U.S. Marine Corps. And tomorrow night, the challenge presented by the Marines continues on ESPN. A Final Four rematch between number 24 Louisville, number 3 Michigan State. That's at 7:15. After that, the Hoosiers and take on Grayson Allen and the Blue Devils. The game also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Well, you take a look at the tail of the tape between those two teams. Two dynamic scorers, no question about it. And with Duke, Grayson Allen so important. Last year, Duke led the nation among major college teams with points in the paint. Obviously, Shaquille O'Neal and others, but Grayson Allen's been the guy. And Yogi Ferrell just pushes that high-octane Indiana offense to its limits.
Duncan Robinson with a miss at one end, and Rowan can't hit the runner in the lane. LeVert kicks it back out. Robinson, if you leave him alone, if he gets a look, he is a pure shooter. He's made 4 threes tonight, has a dozen.
Yeah, you definitely have to find it. Anytime there's penetration, somebody has to be lurking out on the perimeter to make sure they get to the shooter. Because he's out there. He's not going in for rebounds. He's stepping out to look for that knockdown shot.
Well, Rowan certainly isn't shy about firing it, is he?
And I don't think they asked him to come and play defense. Not at least the first responsibility. You take a look at the comparison. Michigan, those 20 points in the paint. That's uncharacteristic of them being able to shoot that well and take that many shots in the paint.
Barber had to pick up his dribble, gets it back from Martin.
Unless they're running a fast break situation. Here, they've been able to do it in their half court.
Trying to switch defenders on Barber. Great move to get open, but he missed the shot. Offensive rebound followed by Freeman.
Well, Leonard Freeman, you know, he's just coming around again. He's had a 14-inch pipe put into his shin.
14-inch rod in his lower left leg.
And it's taken, well, that was done in the spring. It's taken a while to come back, rounding into shape, but he is an outstanding rebounder for this NC State team.
The Packs only hit 1 out of 9 shots in the second half. They've fallen behind by 13. Biggest lead of the night for Michigan. Barber lost the ball, got it back. 10 on the shot clock. Anya trying to get inside, tipped away and stolen. Albrecht into the ball game. The young men that were trying to rehab, but he leads the break for LeVert in the jam.
And there's some of that dynamism that we thought Derek Walton Jr. would be able to bring. Spike Albrecht picking up.
Albrecht had 2 hip surgeries and a hip fracture in the offseason. We have had a Spike Albrecht sighting.
Certainly have, and again, a guy that can step in and do these types of things, recognizing Karis LeVert's little nonverbal communication, throw it up there. And you take a look at the points in the paint. Michigan, not only have they been able to do it in the half court, but they've been able to get started in the fast break. And when they can do that, they don't need to take the threes, the number of threes that they normally do. They get the high percentage shot, and it works.
Barber has been held scoreless in the second half after 10 points in the first stanza. Rowan just been off tonight. Tip follow won't go. Offensive rebound to Caleb Martin, and he draws a foul on the baseline. And it's on Robinson, his 3rd. And John Beilein will get him out and bring Aubrey Dawkins back in. Caleb Martin at the line, 75% on 12 opportunities early in the season. He and his twin brother out of Mottsville, North Carolina. Caleb has 7 points tonight, and Robinson will have to sit at the 13:49 mark. Martin hits them both. And here's the full court pressure.
But I'm curious as to if you're going to apply the pressure now, why not create some intensity with the pressure? That was just standing in front of your man and allowing Michigan to pass the ball, get it up quick.
Yeah, they were just showing it. LeVert works for his shot, can't hit it. And another foul, and North Carolina State doing a really good job of making Michigan stand in there and commit personals, and Dawkins just got his third.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing that token pressure did was speed Michigan up. They took a very quick shot, and that allowed NC State to push the ball back down the other way. But I'm surprised the Wolverines played into that. Once they get over half court, let's get set and let's run our stuff.
Martin averaging 15.5 points a game, 5.5 rebounds. He and his brother both have improved a lot over their freshman season. And here's full court pressure. Man to man. Albrecht is one of those guys who just gets everything out of his talent he possibly can. He busts his rear end, and in every second he's in the game. Dawkins can't penetrate. Shot clock at 3. LeVert to the rim, and he's fouled and went down hard.
Much better job of running their offense. Even though the shot clock was melting away, they got it to their best player, ability to break down the defense. And he challenged B.J. Anya with no fear.
May not have the same enthusiasm to do that the next time.
That's what that was intended.
You're absolutely right. Knowing that you did that a few times in your own career, nobody's going to get an easy one, are they?
No, and you send a message, no question about it, but the good ones come back.
And you do it again.
That depends on how many fouls we have. Then discretion becomes a better part of showing off.
Cody Martin checks in, and Freeman will sit. LeVert with another free throw opportunity. Short on that one. Still a 13-point lead. State has only hit 1 field goal in the last 7.5 minutes. And there is Albrecht with those sore hips, diving on the floor, showing his teammates what hustle is all about.
And he contested that call. Let's take a look. He gets to the ball. I don't know, man. That's the tough call. He was called for upending Rowan, and I get it. I saw that. But if you get to the ball first, you know, you ought to be rewarded for it.
Rowan's the line. Normally makes 2 out of 3. Makes them both this time. So North Carolina State is hanging into this ball game from the free throw line.
I don't know. Maybe they're setting up the intensity incrementally, just staying in front. I guess trying to control the pace right now, not allowing Michigan to blow the ball up the floor, which they weren't doing anyway after a make.
NC State has scored 8 of its 10 points on free throws here in the second half. That's a push off by LeVert. And then Cody Martin had better watch it because he knocked the ball out of LeVert's hand. And Mike Eads is telling him you can't do that. It's been getting a little chippier for about 5 minutes.
Well, I think there's the frustration, obviously, on the state part, them not being able to knock the ball down. You know, their poor shooting, as you take a look there, has led to that frustration. But they got to remember, they're only 10 down. You don't want to do anything that's going to destroy momentum, and here we go, making a mistake.
It'll be an offensive foul on B.J. Anya, his second, away from the ball.
And Mike, you know, guys now played long enough to know that after one incident, the very first time you do anything that could be slightly construed as untoward, you're going to get called.
Whistle.
That's right. Officials are going to keep this game under control no matter what. Got to be smarter than that.
Especially this good officiating crew: Jamie Lucky, Mike Eads, and Bill Covington. Almost lost.
Although
by Wagner.
It would have been nice to see Wagner hold on to it, see his challenge to Anya.
LeVert slashes down the lane, put it up. Wagner with a follow, wouldn't go. Certainly would have been spectacular. He has offensive skills.
Oh, there's no question about it. He's got good footwork, good hands. And again, he's starting to develop some moxie.
Looks like a 2-3 zone right now, trying to protect a couple of guys in foul trouble. And the three buried by Maverick Rowan. And yes, his father did love the name Maverick from the movie. 13 points. Albrecht trying to draw a foul from Cat Barber, doesn't do it. Irvin, the struggle with his shot tonight, missed that one. Offensive rebound to Dawkins, but a foul on Dawkins. The big three for NC State starting to come through from the outside. Caleb Martin with his jumper. Still haven't adjusted, you former Terp U, to being in the Big Ten, have you?
No, and you know, hopeful that the Terps obviously can find something down there in Tobacco Road. They haven't forgotten what it's like. But Maryland 0-1 in this challenge, having lost to Virginia last year at home, looking to kind of get in the win column. And of course, Marcus Page makes his debut this season. And of course, it had to be against Maryland. That should be one heck of a game.
Boy, it's not pretty when Anya goes to the free throw line, is it? He is 0 for 3, make him 7 for 23 on the season. 7 for 24.
And, you know, mentally you can see how it wore on him. And what that does down the stretch, if he's in the game, he doesn't want the ball. He doesn't want to get fouled. He doesn't want to have to get to the line with the game on the line.
Well, it means you can't have him in the game.
But defensively, he's the best shot blocker there is as a steal.
Martin, he had it blocked by LeVert, but the foul on LeVert, his second.
I think Cody Martin was trying to make a statement, and the best statement would have been, as the defenders were being drawn towards him, to be able to give it up. He had a couple guys open.
In and out. NC State creeping ever closer. 46-40. Remember, Michigan playing without Derek Walton Jr.
That was a good move right there to not have Spike Albrecht have to bring the ball up against Cat Barber. Allow Irvin to do it, and then Albrecht will take it over in a half.
It's been a 10-1 NC State run. Long jumper by the 6'10 Wagner. Three would cut it in half here. Martin slashing into the lane. No! Follow won't go. Martin follows, stays with it, and got it.
And the rebounding weakness of Michigan is starting to betray them.
And John Beeline wants timeouts to talk about it.
Well, it all began with a long shot by Wagner on a pick and pop. Tried to bring the big guy away from the basket. Instead, though, it gives an opportunity for Caleb Martin to kind of weave his way through and stick with it.
Anya kept it alive. Martin got it back and scored. Martin 9 points in this half, 15 for the game. And he's averaging 15-7.
I really think that Michigan is keyed by their offense. A lot of teams are keyed by their defense. Michigan keyed by their offense. When their offense is smooth and running well, you know, they play with intensity on both ends of the floor. That time, disjointed offense led to almost non-existent defense.
And the reason Martin is getting this opportunity to shine, part of it, the injury to Terry Henderson, the transfer. Doyle, nice feed, and Doyle did a great job. As soon as he touched the ball, he was up in the air and spinning.
Well, you can tell that's coaching, because we've seen Wagner do the same thing. Never bringing the ball down. The big fellas keep it above their shoulder.
LeVert, nice drive, dumps it to Doyle. Doyle had it knocked away by Rowan.
The problem with that was the pass was below the waist, and Doyle never able to bring it back up.
Too strong on that jumper, and the rebound to Robinson.
And I think Karis LeVert probably a little too unselfish on that play. He's got to make plays himself.
Irvin drives, good ball movement. Shot clock down to 7. And that pure touch of Duncan Robinson.
I mean, when you look at the rotation coming off his hands, that's perfect.
And that one, he had a defender right with him.
He's not
Previous
just
ones where he had guys right in his face, he didn't hit him.
Hey, he's not just a catch and shoot guy. You saw a ball fake, put it on the floor.
Lead back to 8 with 8:22 to go in the ball game. Cody Martin, turnaround jumper. Nice soft touch.
You know, we talk a lot about Caleb Martin, but don't forget, Cody Martin's got some game against LSU. 14 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists at a time when his team really needed him.
Abdur-Rahman running the ball club. Now Irvin, nice pass to Doyle. Again, a low pass, but he got that one back and then missed the shot. Back to your point before. Can't give the big guys low bounce passes.
Yeah, at least not that big guy. He's got to learn.
Barber. Down to 4. Barber with his first basket of the entire second half. Whistle away from the ball, and they're going to call a hold on Barber. Cat Barber has just picked up his third. Timeout on the court, 7:33 left.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. And the Lexus December to Remember sales event.
You know, Kevin, that one, Purdue and Pitt, that might be a test of the new rules.
A test of how those whistles have been made.
Yeah, they may wear out the P in those things tonight.
Take a look at Karis LeVert right now. This is his time. Missed the last 18 games of the season last year. I'm sorry, last 14 games of the season. Only played 18. Recovering from an injury, he came back right now, really getting the job done, but his team needs him to make plays. Can't run away from the ball.
Irvin couldn't get his shot, and then it's turned over by Wagner. Good hustle by Abdur-Rahman to come and knock it off of the foot of Sean Kirk.
And that play was a perfect example. Once LeVert gave it up, he's getting out of people's way. Can't do that. He's bringing it up now. Got to create for himself or for others down the stretch here. And the same can be said about Cat Barber. It doesn't mean he has to shoot it every time. He's just got to be in the middle of the play.
Robinson is heat pure from the outside. Robinson with 17 points. Only 2 off his season's high. Got to get right in his face. Barber has only made 1 shot in the second half. Kirk from outside. Wow. Strong.
That's what I'm talking about. Make plays for others.
Irvin got it to go down. That was a nice feed by LeVert. 7 for Irvin. The lead explodes back to 10 points.
See, when you have a team, young team, in many respects, you know, the guy with the experience, with the talent, he's got to be the one down the stretch to make the stuff happen. He doesn't have to take every shot, but he's got to make the defense honor him so that someone else can be open. That's what they call making guys better.
We mentioned at the start of the broadcast that Irvin could be the wild card offensively for this team. In his last 2 games, he scored a total of 25 points, even though he's only averaging 6.8 points a game on the year. And that was a huge shot for him to hit one out of the corner.
And you know why it was really huge, Mike? Because he hasn't been shooting the ball well today at all.
Exactly.
2 of 9. That was his first 3 of the game. And a big one it was. A lot of guys would shy away from that. They'd find somebody else to pass it to. But give Irvin credit for stepping into it.
Michigan came in shooting 44% from long range. Tonight, Robinson has hit 5 out of 7. The rest of the team only 2 out of 10.
Now, Cat Barber has to find some guys to play with him.
When they're getting no offensive rebounds either. Which is not a strength of Michigan rebounding in general.
At that time, I mean, with that shot, it's just nobody in position on the glass.
And you know, John Beilein wants to work a little shot clock each possession here. Caleb Martin picks up his 2nd personal.
And also utilizing movement away from the ball. You know, Caleb Martin got frozen, and then a hard cut by Robinson forced Martin to stick his hands out, and officials are calling it.
Irvin goes baseline. Wagner put it on the floor and had it knocked away. The 10th turnover. Short on the runner is Maverick Rowan. Got to the rim but couldn't finish.
Yeah, he attempted the wrong finish. I know Maverick Rowan can dunk the ball. He should have been attacking that rim with his palms down instead of his palms up.
This unique system that John Beilein has worked very well for Michigan. Has him within 15 victories of becoming the 3rd winningest coach in Michigan history. Abdur Rahman with the shot clock running down. Barber comes back the other way, trying to ignite this offense again. Hasn't been able to penetrate as well in this half, has he?
No, he hasn't. They've been stepping out on the screens, forcing him to go laterally, and really clogging up the middle.
Martin, with only 2 seconds on the shot clock, went with his left hand, and he now has 17 points.
And that's a demonstration of confidence, as Caleb Martin has become an offensive threat and a go-to guy for NC State. He's playing it with that confidence.
LeVert didn't want to shoot with 16 on the shot clock. Goes back inside. Great pass, and the layup to Wagner, and draws the foul. What a beautiful pass.
Absolutely, and a good read. As you see B.J. Anya step out right there, steps out too quickly, and no one able to cover Wagner as he rolls to the basket. As soon as Anya steps out, the cover guy should have been there. Cat Barber gets there much too late.
8 points for Wagner. More importantly, that's 4 fouls on Barber. Almost an offensive rebound, but Anya ends up with it. And then Wagner commits the foul going after him. That's 3 on Wagner.
But considering the odds, it might not be a bad play.
No.
With B.J. Anya on the line.
He's 0 for 4 tonight. He's about 30% on the season. And most of them haven't had a chance.
I mean, the possession arrow was pointing towards Michigan, so you take the risk of diving after that ball with reckless abandon in the event that you can gain some possession. And if you miss, you foul. But you put Anya on the line, and you take a look at those numbers.
And the odds are certainly in your favor. Leonard Freeman is going to come back in. And this is one of the reasons that you're between a rock and a hard place playing Anya down the stretch. Got one home. 58-49. Michigan in no hurry.
Again, this is where that execution that's always characterized John Beilein teams. They find a way to get a good shot by running their stuff.
Irvin for three.
Not short about that.
Well, you knew they weren't going to take a good shot after you said it.
But I looked over the bench after he took that shot. Some of his teammates, Irvin's teammates, were kind of clapping it with encouragement. And the coaching staff said, don't encourage it.
3:15 to go. Rowan. Offensive rebound. And if that foul is on Wagner, that's going to be his fourth. And it is. The freshman from Berlin, Germany, just put himself in jeopardy. Kevin, it would be interesting to see Page. He is such a brilliant point guard. It's fun to watch. Free throw by Caleb Martin.
Kind of see if he's a little rusty, though, against the Terps in the first game. Hope he gets his game back.
He will. I don't think rust grows on talent that good.
Take a look at NC State. They've had their chances. 7 missed free throws, 3-point field goals, shooting under their percentage, and even the second chance opportunities.
Michigan has only 2 offensive rebounds in this game. That would be the lowest of any Power 5 conference teams all year long. Levert. Got a strange motion, doesn't he?
Kind of strange, kind of quick release.
Martin backing in. Forced it up.
And here's where Michigan, if it's ever a time when they need to send NC State 1 and out, this is it. And they're doing a much better job of covering the board.
12.7 assists for Levert. Irvin, nice dump down to Doyle.
And a beautiful left hand by Doyle. Fundamentally sound, kept it away from Anya.
He only has 6 points, but they've been big buckets. The lead is back to 9. NC State gets reasonably close. Can't get over the hump. A lot of time coming off that clock. Maverick into the lane. That should be a charge, and it is. Just out of control.
Yeah, Rowan forced the issue on that. Put his head down. His teammates are telling him about it. You know, freshman mistake, trying to take the responsibility on himself. But there's no way that you can miss Doyle, who did not move a step. And he didn't move a step.
He telegraphed it about 10 feet away. So an opportunity for Michigan to burn some more time. And without their point guard, Derek Walton Jr., Levert doing a lot of the ball handling.
Run that continuity, and then when it gets down to about 10, Levert's got to come get it.
7 on the shot clock. Doyle lost her on the way up, then lost it as he regained possession. That's not his move.
No, it wasn't. He recognized, though, on the roll, similar to the first half when Wagner recognized on the roll that there's no back line. Once they step out to try to help, he's got a clear path to the basket if he can handle it.
Critical possession for NC State. They desperately need a bucket here, and they'll get one. Anya drives the baseline, but 1:06 left in this game.
And where has that been all second half of NC State?
This lead is 7. And they're letting Michigan run a lot of clock. And then a foul. Oh, that's just a horrible defensive possession.
Absolutely. I mean, shot clock is running down, and you can't bail out the offense with that kind of foul.
I'm surprised they didn't foul after they tried an early steal and didn't get that. Now 42.5 seconds left.
88% free throw shooter.
Yep.
And as I mentioned, Michigan playing this very soundly. Down the stretch, put it in the hands of their playmaker. You know,
well, LeVert is a stat sheet stuffer. 14 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. Can't ask for much more than that. Barber down the lane, draws the foul. And that will be on Abdul Rahman. Tonight, after what should be a great game between highly ranked Maryland and North Carolina, Sports Center at night with Terp alum Scott Van Pelt. SVP, all the highlights and breakdowns from the game, plus the NBA, NHL, and the rest of college hoops. Barber at the line, hits his first. Had a big first half, but has only scored 3 here in the second. And they need more than 2-point possessions. Down 7 now.
And when you take a look at Barber here in the second half, you give Michigan's defense some credit for this, but
absolutely.
The other side of it, though, is I don't think he really asserted himself as much as he needed to.
Here's LeVert fouled by Freeman.
I mean, he's got tremendous talent. He's got tremendous ability to beat people off the bounce. But he just, in my opinion, just didn't get it done often enough. You know, allowed other guys to try to do it. And right now, they're just not capable of doing it the way he does it.
LeVert's hit 5 out of 6 now, 6 out of 7. And John Beilein only 33.5 seconds away from getting out of here, winning a ball game without his point guard. He said they're starting to identify the best lineup they could possibly have in a silly foul.
They're in a 1-3-1 zone designed to force NC State to kind of struggle. You look at the frustration in John Beilein's face. 1-3-1 to get them to kind of struggle. There's no need to have your hands pushed out. It should be up.
And you foul the best free throw shooter the other team had.
Yeah, they should be up or at their sides. Force them to throw through your arms for the pass and just retreat.
I mean, there's a list of things why that was bad. You stopped the clock and allowed North Carolina State to score. We could go on, but now full court pressure, desperate for steal.
They want to foul
somebody. And LeVert dribbling through traffic.
You got to foul them now, but at some point they needed to grab. They're the best free throw shooters out there, though. Duncan Robinson came into this game 7 of 8.
And Cat Barber just fouled out of the ball game.
And Karis LeVert, we talked about, now he's greater than an 88% free throw shooter since he's made his last several.
16 points, 4 assists for Barber. Michigan 9 out of 11 free throws. And now you've got guys who are terrific ball handlers and free throw shooters, and those are the only ones that are going to touch down the stretch. Now with 17.4 seconds left, there's not even any sense for NC State to commit a foul. 18 points for LeVert.
3-possession ball game. Got to find some seams and three-point shooters, because you really quick two. That's all.
Turns into a quick nothing. 5.7 seconds left. Michigan will go to 5-2. North Carolina State will drop to 4-3. And a big crowd disappointed here at PNC. On their way to the parking lot. Martin down the lane with 1.1 seconds left. And that's it. Michigan, a big win in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. And a big win on the road for them. Very impressive.
Outstanding execution. Obviously, with the loss of Derek Walton Jr., we wondered if they could execute their offense. They got it done.
Our final score, 66-59. Michigan over North Carolina State. The Big Ten ACC Challenge continues with Purdue and Pittsburgh. For Len Elmore and our entire hardworking crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching so long from Raleigh. And now back to the studio, Kevin Connors, Jeff Goodman.